All right, One Piece is getting really good. Okay, it's a lot of stuff going on. Recent chapter got me thinking, and then I saw this on Twitter right here, April 29th. I saw this from the Worst Generation. He posted this right here, talking about how he should apologize to Kaido. And of course, right here at this point in time, there are no spoilers out for chapter 1148. Okay, this is all just speculation and whatnot, even what he said. And I have something to say spinning off of this because I've been thinking similar ideas. Because I mentioned earlier in my previous video, and of how Oda he has a chance to kind of recontextualize or give us a different perspective on really how strong the Giants are. Okay, because in the past, their showcase, I'm not going to say they were underperforming and anything like that, but they were never really the overwhelming presence they were rumored to be. Humans can always face giants and meet up to them in their own par with giants, especially the Straw Hat Crew so far, given, the trio, right? I'm sure Jinbei counts, but maybe even too. But they have the power to defeat opponents giants can't defeat, or defeat even giants themselves. Okay, yeah, and even giants have different power scales and different power levels amongst their ranks and groups. That is a factor that has to contribute to. But in some ways, in some perspectives, you can because the story's changing the whole time. This is a shonen that's been running for so long. The original ideas aren't going to be the same when he starts to introduce new ones, and they start to change later on, right? The story grows. So he's going to have to go back and look at things and characters and stuff like that he wrote things about. For example, certain pirates like Crocodile and, other pirates that had a very big standing and a big name like Enil. If Enil comes back, there's no doubt he's going to be using hockey, right? There's no doubt he's going to be a hockey man, okay? He's going to have it. There's no way he wouldn't, because hockey wasn't a thing at that point in time. I'm kind of digressing with hockey, but maybe not, right? Because like this guy is saying, he must apologize to Kaido. There's a reason why the Gorosei feared him, or Whitebeard. They must have their weakness, and Kaido probably even knows this weakness. No wonder they were afraid of Kaido. The Gorosei are monsters, no question, but they can still be defeated even with their own region powers, right? Regeneration powers. So this dude's talking about how these people, look at that's one of the Gorosei members sweating. And when they hear the mention of Whitebeard's name and certain pirates, and even we seen that person who met with the Gorosei, the Gorosei, the Gorosei, he could have been Shanks or what we know to be Shamrock now, probably was Shamrock. But this thing right here, so the Shanks being, on standing with the Gorosei and the Gorosei fearing him for some reason, that's kind of been debunked because it's most likely Shamrock now. We know that. But this panel right here of, I forgot his name, Jupiter, right? Him being scared. Or is that Mars? I forgot. Him being scared and, not even really scared, but sweating over the name of Whitebeard, right? This is going to have to kind of be recontextualized. Even Whitebeard's power is going to have to be recontextualized. I mean, his devil fruit ability was already strong back then, and he was already a menace. So there's not much you're gonna have to do to make him a menace. Like, he's just a menace in general. Like, we know that. We know people feared him. Sakazuki, all of them. We know they were scared of him, and he was old too, out of his prime. That's another way to make potential in the future for a character. If you ever have to go back and show how they are still relatively strong compared to people now. Okay, so the fact that he was out of his prime is also a thing. So a character like Kaido, the reason why people always question plot wise, it doesn't make sense why the world government with all this power, they have the Gorosei, all their abilities. Imu is powerful, presumably. They have the God's Knights, right? God's Knights. We see how strong the God's Knights are. They can damage giants. They're trying to subdue the giants alone with 3 of them, right? So with all that stuff given and being said, and we didn't even know about the God's Knights at the time. You can strike that off the record, but everything else we knew about. We knew about the Gorosei and whatnot at the time. Even after Wano directly, they popped up and we seen their power. People wonder, well, it doesn't make sense in the Wano arc for the world government to never try to interfere with anything. Now it starts to make more sense because Kaido was there, and if Kaido, like other characters, have like a reason or some way to negate this regeneration, because I don't think we've seen any other character. I mean, Luffy's been dealing with a regenerative opponent when he fought Saturn, right? But he didn't know how to deal with it himself. So we might learn the secret, is what people are saying, through Scopper or somebody else. Robin's fight with them, they're gonna possibly figure something out, and we're gonna learn a secret. Okay, this gets me into the other topic I want to reiterate and talk about again in this video. That's the idea I had of hockey, and I think hockey is something that could be transferred to people. And what do I mean by that? Not in a way where when Rio, right, where the hockey is like transferring through somebody, it's going through somebody's body. Or not in a way where you're putting it in an object like the Yamato, the Enma blade from Odin. Not in that way, okay? Where, it's being applied to a physical item or anything. Not even in the way, or maybe similar to the way that Joy Boy put it into the knot to give it to his boy. I forgot his name, the giant. He gave what's his name? Emeth, right? He gave his hockey to Emeth in a knot so he could use it whenever he wanted to. And he used the knot and activated it to defeat his opponents and help the people he wanted to help. And it seems like it only targeted the people he wanted it to target. So he was able to use someone else's hockey. I think we're going to see here. I mean, we might possibly see here, if not later. We could possibly see some hockey being transferred and given to other people. I think Scalper could possibly give Robin some of his hockey because he knows how to use his hockey to defeat these people who could regenerate, possibly. He was in Roger's crew. They possibly have encountered God's Knights before. I'm sure they know about them, right? There's no way they can just not be defeated, okay? Maybe there's a trick to it. I heard people say the summoning circle may have to be broken. I kind of thought of that too. Like, yo, if you erase the summoning circle, would the demon go back or something like that? Would it reverse summon them or something? I don't know. I thought of that. But we're going to have to figure out exactly how they're going to get dealt with. They're definitely going to dive into that in this next chapter, for a fact. They're going to dive into that. There's no way they're not, right? So I think Robin she's due for an evolution. There's no way she might not get an evolution, bro. It's her time to get an evolution. She needs to upgrade. Either her devil fruit's going to evolve, or she might use her demonio to just go crazy with some new hockey abilities, and she might be able to do it for longer. I hope it's an evolution. She might do her demonio full body, like walking around feet like Susanoo, like perfect Susanoo. That would be crazy. I would like that. So perfect Susanoo Robin using her demonio to stand over the enemy and put in the work that she needs to put in, that she should have been putting in. Because her ability's pretty sweet, and it's sweet seeing her use it to fight. Okay, and Usopp, I hope Usopp does something. If they find out how to deal with them, of course Jinbei too, because Jinbei, like Nami said, I expected more from Jinbei. I think Oda had Nami say that because we all were probably gonna think that. I thought that too. Jinbei's supposed to be big Jinbei, right? I thought Jinbei was gonna do something, right? But nah, Jinbei got knocked out. I was surprised, actually. I didn't think that was gonna happen. They fighting these God's Knights. Their abilities are weird, you know what I mean? And they're immortal, keep regenerating, so he don't know how to deal with it. You can give him some grace, okay? But I think it'd be crazy if Scalper gives Robin some hockey because that's the thing. And I think in the future, potentially, we're gonna see Luffy with his Nika, you know, his hockey, his Conqueror's hockey, and all that. He maybe apply either Nika to people, like everybody said before, because I still feel like that could happen. He could share some of that power with people or the effects of it, right? Or he's gonna just use hockey and apply it to people, because give it to them in the way I just mentioned. Like he's gonna give it to them. Like, so the way I mentioned it, like it'll be like a power boost. You give them the hockey, not too dissimilar from Emeth, but instead of it being an item, that's actually powering the person up and strengthening their hockey, and they can use it for like their own key moves or hockey moves, right? Because hockey, right? So they can use it for their own hockey moves, right? I think this is something that might happen to Robin. I want to see her demonio. I hope Chopper, I predict that he might not be able to sit around for too much longer. He could go help Saul, but I think Chopper's best bet is to go into Rumble Ball mode. If they figure something out, he might go into Rumble Ball mode and turn into Giant Chopper, or we could see new little Chopper form or new design. I don't know. He likes redesigning Chopper's forms for no reason. I don't know why he likes redesigning Chopper's forms, but I hope we see Chopper go into Rumble Ball. If Chopper pulls the Rumble Ball out, I'll be happy. That's what I need to see. I need to see Chopper pull the Rumble Ball out and go into a giant form. If he goes giant, I wonder what size it would be. Same thing with Luffy. I wonder what size Giant Luffy and Giant Chopper are in comparison to other giants. That's the thing. That's one of the things I've been really curious about for a long time. Like how tall is he gonna be? You know what I'm saying? Is he gonna be like kind of like shorter than them, or is he gonna be on par with Saul? Cause Saul's not like the tallest giant. So would he be on par with Saul? Could he pick Saul up and carry him like how Zoro would carry Luffy or some shit? If he he like over his shoulder or some shit like that, could he possibly do that with Saul? Like, is Chopper really, I feel like Chopper's around that size, man. I feel like Chopper's around that size to like, I don't know. We got to see that. I really want to see that. I've been saying that. I want to see that. I need to see Chopper giant and Luffy giant. I haven't been saying Chopper. I want to see both of those though. If you didn't know, you know now. Okay, and I hope he goes giant and fights with Robin, because Robin also has a giant form. So Chopper, Robin, and Luffy have giant forms. Okay, and the only person I don't even think nobody saw Robin's demonio. I think Sanji was already gone by then. Brook might have seen it. I don't remember, because he was fighting with her at one point, but he might have left at that point. So I don't remember if anybody's seen her demonio. Everybody's seen Chopper's monster form, I think. Well, not everybody. Not everybody on the crew. So last time Chopper's done monster form was Wano. I think Robin already seen it. But yeah, I think Robin seen it. They might have all seen it. Jinbei too. Jinbei was in Wano. I don't know if he saw it directly, but yeah. Either way, I want them to do that, okay? I want all that shit to happen. I hope it happens soon. Luffy and the rest of the crew. I keep thinking we're going to get Harden's flashback from Loki's perspective. He might not talk about it yet or soon, but I think it still will happen eventually. There is no way that, next chapter we might see them hear the announcement from the snails. And then they're going to find out, and then Loki's going to be urging them to untie him to help the kids. And then they're probably going to say no, and he's going to promise he's not going to do anything. And they're probably not gonna believe him, but maybe Luffy says, "Bro, like, nah, let's do it. Like, if he does anything, I'll knock him out. Like, just take his hammer away or some shit like that." I don't know how they're gonna cut it, right? But either way, they might not even free him. Luffy might just say, "Nah, fuck it, I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna do it. You gonna stay here. We gonna have our thing later." And then maybe Loki does fight Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, until Luffy goes giant. Yo, I hope that's how the fight goes. I hope he fights Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji. Okay, and then until Luffy goes giant, Gear 5. I hope that's how that happens if they fight. Okay, I really want to see that giant Gear 5 if you couldn't tell. Okay, so I don't know what to say. I want to see what Scopper does. Like, what is Scopper going to do? Because he flew off, and obviously, like Dory and Broggy, they want to pull up too. And Ripley, she heard about the stuff happening. Everybody heard about it. So he's creating a lot of reasons for the other giants to not appear at this spot, and for the giants traveling in this through this area it should take longer for them to travel technically, right? I mean, it should be a shorter distance for the giants to travel. So how is Scalper going to get there before Dory and Broggy? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how Oda's going to play that, because they just said, nah, fuck it, we're going there too. And Scalper flew off first. But you telling me he's like, it's supposed to be a longer journey for the small people. It's more Landmaster covering. Like walking on the coffee table is like a fucking trip. You know what I'm saying? Walking on the coffee table is like a trip for a regular sized human. A giant don't even have to do that. That's standing up. That's taking one step. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even have to worry about that distance. So imagine a whole forest for a little person. Every blade of grass is a tree. So the forest for you is the grass. The trees are like mountains, but bigger than that. Like, it's just too much. The scale is crazy, right? So how would they get around? That's what I don't understand. How would they get around? We need to we need to see that, okay? Plain and simple. We need to see that. That's something that they need to touch up on a little bit. And, a bunch of other things need to happen and unfold in front of us. I want to see exactly what Scalper's going to do with those two axes. Is he going to, use some sort of trick? Is he going to overwhelm them with Haki? Everybody thinks the answer to killing them is Haki. If the answer to killing them is Haki, then what Kaido said is really true. Haki is king. Okay? Haki is the strongest. Being a hockey man, there's nothing better. If that's, man, if hockey's the answer, then what Kaido said is true, man. Being a hockey man there's nothing better than it. You gotta be a hockey man yourself. Just like Shanks, Shamrock, everybody else. So tell me what you think, man. I think all of that, okay? I think Sanji, everybody knows Sanji, like Oda doesn't like Sanji. Oda often does talk shit about Sanji. I think he even told the voice actor that, like, if he keeps asking for Sanji to get good scenes, he's gonna keep giving him bad scenes, because the voice actor said some shit like, please, like, why you keep giving him all this bullshit? Not bullshit. These jokes. I wanted something serious one time. Give me some action. He said, nah, I'm gonna keep doing some bullshit if you ask me that. Maybe he was joking, I don't know. But he's also said some other shit that sounds like he doesn't like Sanji either. Okay? So I hope Sanji gets a little bit of burn and shine. That German shit, he should have took the can. I think he should have still kept the can with him, but then still been resisting the thing. I mean, something like that. I don't know. Because his body's changing anyway. His body's changing. So he could have kept the can for the boost and accepted his body and the boost, but whatever. He doesn't need the can to be strong. It only, the invisibility was the only thing he lost. So hopefully Sanji can still fight on the same level as Zoro, because Zoro is he's near Luffy's level. Zoro is near Luffy. I don't know about Gear 5th, but Zoro, I don't know. Zoro's near Luffy. That's all I'm gonna say. Zoro is near Luffy. Okay, Sanji was near Zoro at one point. They were on par, but then Zoro's kind of surpassed him at some point, a little bit. He did, for a fact. And I'm not one of them Zoro Sanji niggas. I'm not on that shit. I fuck with both of them. Okay, so you can trust me when I say Zoro has surpassed Sanji a little bit at some point. It's not like no hard surpass. Like, no, it's not nothing like that. But he has definitely gotten the edge on him since, I think, probably since Enma, maybe. Maybe since Enma, I don't know. But it's been there. It's been there. I don't even know. I can't even think of when, but Sanji had it with that. Since he lost that raid suit, though, it's like he's not. The raid suit had him up there. The raid suit had him up there. He don't got it no more. I don't know. I mean, he's kind of like stronger than the raid suit now, a little bit. Because they're still not Zoro. I don't know. We gotta see. We gotta see what they do. I think I'm in the video here. Like I said, I'm out. Leave a like, subscribe, do what you gotta do. Let me know what you think. Okay, this shit getting real good. It's getting real good. This One Piece, that is. I'm out.